Let's do it with Miami Dolphins.
The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown.
Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown!
Looking deep, he's got a man. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's got it for the touchdown. He's in. Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fire to the end zone. Touchdown!
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan.
Let's go!
What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason. We are back here for another one as we preview the Dolphins game this weekend against the New England Patriots in New England. You know, we've been kind of used to it since 2020. We have not lost it to New England since Tua has been the starting quarterback of this team. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this rolls this weekend with Teddy, right? You know, undefeated since 2020 against them, and here we go. And now it's the most important game we're going to play against them in those number of years. And sucks how it's gone, sucks how it's ended up, and you know, we're all praying for Tua to get better, but at the end of the day, I don't understand why there's a funeral in this community, because listen, Tua's going to be back, Tua's going to be playing football. And on top of that, we got a game we got to win this weekend with or without Tua. It's Teddy time. We got a game we got to win. I don't know why everyone, man, there's a chance to make the playoffs still on the table here. And until this team is out of the playoffs and it's over, it's a wrap. I'm good. I'm not sitting here, you know, diving into the deep holes of depression. I'm just not doing that. So, yeah, not getting into that. And, you know, I'm not getting over, you know, the one thing that's ridiculous about our fan base is overreactionary, over-emotional. All right? We talk about the Jekyll and Hyde road defense. Well, we should talk about the Jekyll and Hyde fan base. You know, I know a lot of y'all went from screaming MVP to get this guy out of here, and you know, I know a lot of y'all went from singing McDaniel's praises to get this guy out of here. It's just ridiculous, man. Like, let things play out. We still have the playoffs on the line here. So, while everyone wants to sit here and overreact, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let it play out. Because last I checked, there's still 2 games left to play in this season. Right? This season ain't over. And these games could matter a lot. This game this weekend especially matters. Shout out to JT for joining the Pro Bowl. Appreciate that. So I'll let everyone dive into their holes, dive into their deep pools of depression, and do their backstrokes. I'm not down. I'm waiting. When this team is out, when there's no fighting chance of this team making the playoffs, then let's talk about it. All right? So until then, and all this reactionary thing, are we talking about concussions like we're doctors out here? Listen, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, okay? Y'all don't even know what concussions are. You have no idea. Go look up Sidney Crosby and come back and talk to me. Sidney Crosby missed almost 2 years of hockey, okay? Almost 2 years of hockey from a blindside David Steckel hit when Sidney Crosby was having the best year of his career. That man, in the 41st game of the season, had over 60 points. He was lighting it up. He was on pace for over 60 goals, and he was on pace, which is rare nowadays, for a 125-plus point season in the NHL, which post-lockout is supremely rare. Sidney Crosby missed almost 2 years of hockey because of concussion syndromes. This man couldn't watch TV for a year. He was sitting in the dark. I've been there. Okay? And you know what ended up happening? He went outside team facilities, found a chiropractor. It ended up being something was dislodged in his neck. They fixed it. He hasn't had one single solitary concussion since, and that was a guy for 2 years everyone's saying he's going to shut it down. He's going to retire. He hasn't played. You got to be worried. So I'm not going to sit here. I'm not a doctor. I've sat there and watched a guy go from hadn't played the sport he was one of the greatest in the modern era at for 2 years to coming back and just hitting that stride again and never having a concussion issue since. So I don't know. Everyone's head is different. Injuries are different for everyone. So I'm not going to sit here and self-diagnose when last I checked, I don't have a PhD or a doctorate in medicine, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat right now doesn't either. So I'm not about to sit here and start making assumptions, right? Because, hey, the first word assumption is ass, and I'm not about to make my ass of myself. I already made an ass of myself on the film review when he made some high-level throws without me remembering he made high-level throws after he got his bell rung against the Bills. So I'm not going to sit here. I just hope Tua gets healthy. That's all I'm going to sit here to say. I don't know if he's going to play. I ain't going to project whether he's going to play. I'm just sitting back. Who knows? He could be cleared tomorrow. He could not be cleared for 2 years. I don't know. So I ain't going to sit here. And talk about it. We got Joe Burrow has sat here up here and told all y'all he doesn't remember second halves of football games. Okay? Kenny Pickett's had 3 concussions this year. T. Higgins has had multiple. He had 2 concussions in a singular game this year. So, I'm not sitting. Listen, I don't know. This is such a gray area that I'm just going to sit back. Whatever may happen, may happen. Period. That's it. People need to stop talking like they got, like literally people in, like journalists mock people who do this stuff because it's ridiculous. People out here talking like they got PhDs, giving career advice when they haven't even seen the CT scan of this kid. And even if they did, they wouldn't know how to read it. So, I'm not sitting here. If he retires, that's on him. If he plays, that's on him. If the Dolphins decide to shut him down this season, that's on the Dolphins and the knowledge they have. I don't know. That's way out of my pay bracket. And I'm sure it's way out of the pay bracket, again, of a lot of people in this community. It is what it is. It is what it is. People want to be selective with Tua, but forgetting T. Higgins, what Joe Burrow said, forgetting what's happened to Kenny Pickett this year in his rookie year. Can't just talk about one player but not talk about all the other ones. Right? You can't be selective because that ain't objective. That's subjective. So, I mean, listen. Again, way out of my pay bracket. If Tua and his doctors decide he can come back, that's their decision, not mine. If they decide he won't going to come back and his family decides he's going to come back, that's their decision, not mine. Whichever way he decides to go, I wish him best. So, and what I think, and what you think, and what she thinks, and what he thinks, and what they think doesn't matter at the end of the day. Right? Y'all ain't going to influence him. I'm not going to influence him. Nick Hicks ain't even going to influence him. And you already heard what his brother said. Talia already came out in an interview and said he expects Tua to play again. Talia already came out. It was a couple days ago. So, I don't know. Talia would know better than me, than any of us, because at least he's there. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, right? Just, yesterday, Talia said to the AP, I just feel like he's not going to stop playing football. That's literally what Talia said. That's literally what Talia said. And it's not even a discussion. Tua Tagovailoa is better than Ryan Tannehill was in year 3. Like, let's stop with the nonsense right now. Like, that's not even close. Tua Tagovailoa is far more talented of a passer. Okay. Go ask Mike Wallace. This man couldn't hit a deep ball, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn when he had to throw deep. Let's relax right now. Okay. Ryan Tannehill frustrated so many receivers that came here. All right. Ryan Tannehill in year 3 did not do what Tua did. And again, I've already done the projections for y'all. If you do the projections of his, we are the number 9 passing offense in the NFL right now. Number 9. Okay, this guy's averaging over 270 yards per game passing the football. All right, and if you were to project his numbers over a full 17-game season, again, the touchdown interception ratio, Tannehill's was never this high. Okay, when you look at the yardage per game, Tannehill was just not as good of a passer of the football, and that's because he didn't play the position as long. He was the better athlete, and he had a stronger arm, but he wasn't better at the position. That's the difference between the two of them. So that's not even a discussion. Like, literally not even a discussion. So I don't even know why people are having that one. Yeah, the interview with Teddy was a wild one, man. I mean, the guy's gotta lay out the edibles. I mean, I talked to David Feronas about it, and it was just seen as a joke that fell flat. That's all. You know, he's just trying to be funny with everyone. And listen, I support Teddy, man. He's been waiting for this type of moment. He's gonna play a meaningful game in New England. Hometown boy, go get it done, man. It's Teddy time. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Teddy is. It needs to be the dude. And Tyreek is not the reason we have 8 wins at all, because if you look at our best game is when we had 8 or 9 receivers catching the football, and Tyreek, when we blew out Cleveland, we had 9 different receivers. Tyreek didn't even have 100 yards in that game. There's been multiple games where Tyreek has not even had 100 yards, and we've won handedly too. Our best offensive player when fully healthy is Teron Armstead. And that's what that's been this year. In fact, you could make the argument over the last couple weeks, Jalen Waddle has been our best receiver. So, I mean, Tyreek's had some key drops. He doesn't drop that ball in the end zone in Buffalo, we win that game. Just like if the defense gets off the field on 3rd and 17, which it should have, you take a touchdown off the board before half, we win that football game. Just like Trent Sherfield should have caught his football as well. So, listen, I love Tyreek, but there's a reason why Justin Jefferson caught up and lapped him, even when even when Tua was still having 300-yard games. Like, that's literally it. And that is not why Waddle has his stats, because someone's getting doubled. Like, you're literally not even making sense. That's not why at all. Because there's plenty of times where Waddle gets hit in triangle or box coverage where he's got 3 or 4 guys around him and he makes a play. So that is not a fact. Okay. All right. Let's explain why Jamar Chase has more targets than Jalen Waddle but less yardage. And he's a number 1. So he gets fed. More targets than Waddle, but he's got over 300 less yards. And Waddle averages more than 6 yards per reception than him. Because Jalen Waddle's turning into what I told all y'all was when you go back and watch my big board from that receiver class. Jalen Waddle is the best receiver in that class. Go look at what Jalen Waddle did on that stutter go a couple weeks ago. Jalen Waddle is the best receiver in that class. He's a freak. Ridiculous. Jalen Waddle's unbelievable. Like, literally has averaging over, like, let's compare Jamar Chase right now and Jalen Waddle. Let's have some fun because we did this last week. Let's do this again. Woo! Because it's about to be real time right now. Let's do this again right now. Jamar Chase, what we got here? What we got, Jamar Chase? We got 121 targets for 960 yards, 12.2 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. And then we got 2 fumbles on top of that as well. For Jalen Waddle, and this is where it gets real good, baby. Jalen Waddle has 107 targets, 14 less, 67 catches, right? So he's got 12 less because he's got less targets. But he's got 1,260 yards and he averages 18.8 yards per reception. And he's got 8 touchdowns. Oh, and he only has 1 fumble. He doesn't have 2. Yeah, Jalen Waddle this year is better than Jamar Chase. Like, not even close right now. Like, it's not even close. And you can put the film on, and the stats back up the film. And that's why, guess what? Jalen Waddle is a top, if you even want to go to PFF, which everyone knows how I feel about PFF, whatever. But if you want to go there, Jalen Waddle is a top 5 graded player from that draft class this year. Jamar Chase is not. That is a fact as well. So yes, Jalen Waddle is a better player this year, and he's doing it as a number 2, not as a number 1, as seen by the fact that he has 14 less targets. So yes, 18.8 per catch, 12.2 per catch. Which is better? Let me think. Oh, Chase was hurt, but Chase still has more targets. So that throws your whole argument out the window. It's not like Chase has less targets. Chase is hurt and he still has more targets. And he still ain't doing it. So now what's the excuse? Because that goalpost and that narrative just got destroyed by the targets. The targets are what matter, not by hurt. You could miss 3 games, but if you got more targets than a player, you got more opportunities. So why do you got almost 300 yards less than this guy when you got 14 more targets? Why are you averaging over 6 yards less per catch than this guy when you had more targets? No, the hurt narrative, that's a weak argument. That's L, you lose, take your L, run along, and I'll do you an even better. I'll put you right on the bench. Make sure you get the water for Waddle when he comes to the sideline because you have been benched. Take your L, baby. Woo! Hit that bench. Jabronis hit the bench, man. All right, see, we got the Pro Bowl levels. We got all these membership levels. But then for the jabronis, we got the bench. So we had to put you on right bench. Right bench. There you go. There you go, bro. Hey, you can play right guard. Right? Right bench, and you can guard the water. Go guard the Gatorade. You can play right guard for me. There you go. Gave you a position on the field. You can play right guard on this channel. Right bench, and you can guard the Gatorade. How does that sound? Love it, baby. Love it. See? Oh, he was hurt. What does that matter? When this guy has more targets, what does that matter? That makes no sense. That's grasp. I've lost. Let me grasp at something. He's got more targets. Whoever's hurt don't matter. If you got more targets, you got more opportunities. Do you not know how the game of football works? Casuals not wanted around these parts. Let that be known. Like, who says that? Oh, Waddle's got better stats this year because Chase was hurt. Well, okay, so explain to me why Chase has more targets. That is the most asinine thing I've heard in my life. Asinine. Asinine. And you call yourself a fan of this team and you're defending Jamar Chase being better than Jalen Waddle when the film and all the stats and analytics don't even back. You even want to go to PFF? Waddle top 5 graded from that draft class this year. Jamar Chase not even in the top 5. Stop. Whatever analytic, whatever number you want to throw right now, Waddle's better at. The only thing Jamar Chase has more of is targets. That's it. That's it. And that's even more of an indictment. That proves my fact. Jalen Waddle, and this is why I don't like this shit. Jalen Waddle and Christian Wilkins are the biggest snubs this year of the Miami Dolphins. Jalen Waddle should be a Pro Bowler. He's going to be an All-Pro. He's the number 3 receiver in yardage in the AFC. Sorry, number 4. Yeah, number 4. I think AJ... No. He's number 3, I think. Yeah, because I think... and if you include tight ends, then he's number 4, because I think Kelsey's 3. I think it goes... Tyreek leads the AFC. Stephon Diggs is number 2. Kelsey is number 3. And then I think it's Jalen Waddle in terms of just AFC reception leaders. So, I mean... And now we've gotten to the point where these fans... Like, let me tell you all a story. I'm going to tell you story time of reason. I had a conversation with Richmond Webb on the phone, all right? And he talked about when he went to Cincinnati, when he went to the Bengals. And it's actually sad, all right? He said he was so surprised at how appreciative, how grateful, and the amount of gratitude Bengals fans showed their players, not just him, but their players in general. And remember, this is back when they were drafting Achilles Smith. Okay, so they weren't exactly at the peak when they were wasting Corey Dillon before they traded him to New England, who helped Tom Brady come along, right? And, you hear Richmond say that, makes the all-decade team, and the memory he has of going from the Dolphins to the Bengals is the difference in fans. I mean, I don't get it. I gotta go. When did beggars become choosers? Y'all been begging for a quarterback. You got the bet. Now, I get it. Hey, you want to say the injuries are making you reserved on him? You don't like the injury issue? You got a total good argument. You ain't going to hear a peep from me. You got an argument there. But we've had, even before the concussions, bro, the concussion is just an out for the people that don't want him here because all these people were silent when we were ripping teams up. And then the moment we started losing, they came up from crickets to cockroaches. I've gone over this before. Came right out under the rocks. And now the concussion. And they don't give a crap about Tua and his safety. They don't care about his livelihood. They'll tell you that, but they don't care. You can't, listen. You can't sell your bullshit to me. I'm sorry. I ain't buying. If you've been one of those people that have been adamantly predicting us to lose every week, even when we're blowing teams out, if you're one of those people that have been vocally against Tua, I don't hear them talking about Watson anymore, eh? The Watson, you want to talk about crickets, eh? Imagine if we would have given Watson all that money in that play. Because all of y'all are the same camp that want him to retire, right? We all know. Y'all the Flores apologists that wanted Watson, and now you want Tua to retire. We all know. We're not dumb. We see right through the veil, man. And it's crazy to me. Like, I don't hear Deshaun Watson nothing. Huh? I don't hear Deshaun Watson nothing. Haven't heard a word. Huh. Imagine if we would have been the team giving up all those picks and guaranteeing all that money. Oh, you think it's bad now at 8-7? You think it's bad now at 8-7? We would have had to ride Jacoby Brissett till week 12? What would we have been? What? We'd have been 4-7 by the time this guy showed up. And then with the play we've seen, and you can't even give me the weapons. The guy's got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper. Stop right now. Okay? The guy's got weapons and he's got an offensive line. Huh. Oh, you think it's bad now? Bro. That's the thing. All y'all that want to harp on Tua, y'all the same ones that wanted Watson, and yet we'd be even in a worse situation with Watson. We wouldn't be playing for the playoffs this weekend, that's for sure. We'd be playing for a draft spot. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. Unbelievable. Now, if you got issues with this kid and his concussions and his injuries, hey, you got a legitimate case. You know what I mean? This is worrisome. Listen, especially if you're going to sign them to a long-term deal, you can't depend on a guy just to be up 12, 13 games a season consistently, especially at that position, because then that means you got to go spend an even more premium on a backup in case he goes down, whether that's draft capital or financial capital. And eventually, someone's going to step in and take the job, and you're going to be stuck on the hook with a big contract and someone who came in and stepped in for it and took it over. So, listen. But again, I don't know where this goes. This is a gray area. You're talking to a Sidney Crosby fan. I've seen a guy who didn't play the sport he was elite at for 2 years. Almost 2 years, and then come back, pick up where he left off, and win Stanley Cups. I don't know. I don't know what to tell anyone. All I know is it's got to play out, and the only people that know are Tua and his family, and we'll know when they know, or when they want us to know. That's it. That's literally it, man. And until then, it's Teddy time. Until then, it's Teddy time. And if you really want me to give my honest opinion, if Tua gets the clearance, just by Talia saying, I don't think he's ever going to stop playing football, if Tua gets the clearance and we make the playoffs, you best believe he's going to be back for the playoffs. If he gets the clearance. Now, I do have a sneaky suspicion the NFLPA might get involved, and this investigation might not be the prettiest thing when it's all said and done. Maybe it will, but I've just been told some things that I'm not even allowed to go to Patreon with. That, yeah. So, anyways, listen. It is what it is. We got a game to win. The Dolphins have got to get into the playoffs. With or without Tua, it's time to end the drought. Okay? Like, let's be real here. It's been a long time. It's time for that to change up. And for me, a lot of it's going to start with the run game this week. So let's get into the preview here. Got a lot to go over here, man. Listen, I get people got agendas and want to slander Tua because he got agendas. People more worried about being right than this team winning or what's good for this team. I've seen it. It's clearly obvious. Don't even start on my boy Jalen Waddle. Listen, we take enough Tua slander when it's not necessary. Don't be starting on my boy Jalen Waddle, okay? Don't you dare start on Jalen Waddle. All right? I will defend that man to the end of the earth, all right? That man is a freaking stud. I don't want to hear nothing about Jalen Waddle. One of the few guys, if he has a bad play, he'll actually go out there and make up for it. And usually in a big way. So I ain't trying to hear nothing about Jalen Waddle, man. All right. Let's get into, let's preview. Let's get into this preview. Because really, we got a lot to talk about, to go into. Let's start off because obviously we're on the road. Oh my God, please road defense show up. All right. Dolphins at Patriots. Here is your weather report. It is going to be partly cloudy. It's going to be about 52 down to about 49 by the fourth quarter. It's going to have a slight wind, 13 miles from the west and northwest, getting down to 11 miles. Precipitation's going to go from, we ain't looking at any precipitation. So it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. We're not dealing with what we dealt with in Buffalo. All right? We're not dealing with what we dealt with in Buffalo. We're good. We can win this game. And I'm going to tell you how we can win this game. Don't you worry. All right. So, yeah, it's going to be similar to what it was this weekend, right? Wasn't it like 55-60? So it's like 52, down to 49. It's going to be very similar, right? So we'll be good. We'll be good, man. The weather should not be a factor, all right? We'll be good. Shout out to Griffin Gaiman for talking some smack and donating to Talk Some Smack. I see you. He says, only 10 fantasy points from CD reason. Ouch, man. Bro, when Dak has the game he has and CD was expected for 15, I'll take it. Man, the guy had 101. You're lucky it ain't PPR. You better be saying your freaking prayers that I don't run PPR leagues. That's why. If it was PPR, I would have had over 15 points in them. The guy had like over 10 catches. So, I ain't worried, bro. I ain't worried. I'm taking 10. If I get 10s across the board from every position, you taking that L, son. So, don't you worry, all right? Don't you worry. We still got a weekend to play out. All right? And I'm coming for that. Don't worry. To be honest with you, bro, CD and Tony are the only one to bet on, and Tony's out. I traded Zeke in one of my leagues for CD. I got CD in 2 leagues, which I'm both alive in. So, I'm good. Don't worry, man. This guy's talking this trash over here. I'm pretty sure, Griffin, you're Liberty, right? If I remember correctly. Are you Liberty? I think he's Liberty. Yeah, because you were talking trash about being the 8th seed, right? So you got to be that Liberty. Yeah. Man, listen. Brother. I mean, like, you ain't out the woods. You ain't out the woods, all right? You are not out the... Yeah, 8th seed upset. Brother, like, listen. Don't make me pull up our matchup. I ain't worried, bro. I ain't worried. You know what Justin Fields is about to do to Detroit? And I got Aaron against Minnesota. I got 2 ways to kill you right now at quarterback, and I'm choosing Justin. And then you still got to get by Stephon Diggs, Ramondre Stevenson, Cam Akers, who's coming on, Higbee, who's coming on crazy with Baker Mayfield. Bro, yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for you. Like there ain't no snow on the ground, and you trying to go down just a normal hill. It's going to be tough sledding, bruh. Don't worry, I got you. Who you got? What do you got? Oh, you really... This man, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, stop. What? Oh, man. Brock Purdy against Las Vegas. Bro, listen. Other than Justin Jefferson... What am I worried about? This man starting Jeff Wilson Jr. Come on, stop, bro. What are you going to do with Jeff Wilson Jr., bro? What are you going to do with Jeff Wilson Jr.? Who's your defense? The LA Chargers at the Rams? The Rams just put up 51 points? I don't know about that, bro. Your boy Debo out? Ugh. I don't know. You rolling with Purdy over Geno? You gonna take this out, Griffin. You gonna take this out. Bro, I'm gonna use the same. Ready? It's because Ramondre was hurt. That's exactly why. It's literally because Ramondre's been hurt. Hey, yo. What are you on, too? Ramondre has 175 points this year. Wilson has 123. We gonna crush you. I actually think they're going to run the football against us, so I'm actually going to roll with Stevenson. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Whoever's got Mostart this week, I think you're going to have a game. Don't worry. Jeff Wilson going to go for like 40, 50 yards. That's it. Watch. I got you. All right. Let's keep this going. Stop distracting me, Griffin, with your fantasy football talk. Okay? I'm going to beat you. You're going to take the L. And then you're going to be donating sad face emojis. That's what's going to be happening, okay? All right? Prepare. Now, the injury report. as extensive as usual. Gotta love it. Tua officially declared out. Eric Fisher doubtful. Terran Armstead, who, he's been trying to practice at least once a week. He did not participate all week. Xavier Howard did not participate today. And the crazy thing about Armstead is he's got a toe, pec, knee, and now he's got a hip injury. And this guy's got... Terran Armstead is battling through 4 injuries now. Look at this guy. What a warrior. Bradley Chubb, ankle, hand. Apparently, who was it? Alec Ingold and Bradley Chubb were practicing in cast today. So, take that. I don't know. Cass? Ugh. Greg Little limited. Craycraft limited. Eric Fisher, Terran Armstead, Greg Little are either questionable or doubtful. We are banged up in the trenches as well. So, ugly stuff, man. Ugly stuff. You see, Jalen Phillips was limited all week until today, right? Eric Rowe limited all week until today. Brandon Shell limited. Good today. They're giving vet rest to Raheem Mostert and Melvin Ingram. So, and then on the flip side, though, boys and girls, it is, oh my God, it is good for us. Okay? Jack Jones, out. Marcus Jones, out. Shout out to Justin Vanderberg. He says, if we lock up Sunday, they should rest everyone against the Jets. I agree. Rest X, rest everyone. Put Braylon Sanders out there. Put all the jabronis out there. I don't want to see anyone good out there, okay? So I agree with that 110%. Anyways, back to the injury report. Marcus Jones out. Jack Jones out. Devontae Parker is officially out. Jonnu Smith is out as well. On top of that, Jonathan Jones and Jalen Mills are questionable. So their secondary is just as banged up. And you think it's bad with 2 in the concussion. They have 3 players that are out this week with a concussion. Marcus Jones, Devontae Parker, Jonnu Smith all out with concussions. You look at this. Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, questionable or out after all the money they spent in bringing them in. Now, I think all these questionable guys will tough it out. You might see one of them not good to go by the end of it. But I do think, yeah, they're all out. So that's what that looks like. It's an extensive injury report on both sides. Some key injuries on both sides of the football too, right? Like, these are not injuries to just shake a proverbial stick at. Jalen Mills, questionable. He's their top guy on the right side, right? Jack Jones, he's their number 2 guy. They rotate with Jonathan Jones, right? And you see Jonathan Jones, he's questionable as well. So they're dealing with first and second string depth issues right now due to injury. So, going to be interesting to see how this all plays out for them. And you look at even this. If Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry out, they have no active tight end. Tyquan Thornton's questionable. Devontae Parker's out. What do they got? Matthew Slater and Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne. So, they are just as banged up as we are. They are ripe for the picking. Please, God, Teddy, show up. Please, Teddy, do your thing. We need Teddy to do his thing, man. I don't know what else to say. Because they're dealing with the injury bug just as badly as we are. When you look at it. So, please. All right, let's look at how they're ripe for the picking, man. If we had Tua, they were ripe for the picking this week. Man, with how Mac Jones is playing and how they're doing. Oh. All right, let's get into it. This is how these two teams stack up against each other. You know, you look at total offense. Right now, we have the 5th best offense in the NFL, averaging about 370.8 yards per game, and it ain't because of our rushing offense, okay? They have the 24th best total offense. I mean, good. Look at all these people talking crap about Tua. We have the number 2 passing offense in the NFL. The number 2 passing offense in the NFL. Sure, the health is the issue, but from a play standpoint, the number 2 passing offense in the NFL, and these people think they're entitled to better. You figure that one out. While the passing offense for the top 100 ranked player, Mac Jones, is 21st. The guy averaging 208.6 yards per game. Like, unbelievable. Anyways, rushing offense, 27th best for the Dolphins. And what's crazy is, you know what? If we didn't have the number 2 passing offense, we would have. You know how many games we would have lost on the road before the Texans game, the Lions game. If we didn't have the number 2 passing offense, we wouldn't have been able to keep up with how often they were scoring on us. We wouldn't have been able to keep up with Justin Fields and what he was doing to our defense. If we did not have the passing offense we had, we would have lost to all these teams everyone wants to label terrible. We would have lost to them. And we'd be eliminated from the playoffs heading into this weekend. Just saying. Scoring offense is 9th best in the NFL. 24.3 points per game. While 16th best for the Patriots. And the Patriots really out of character. They have the 22nd best rushing offense, which is we're used to seeing a top 10 from them. Top 5. Sacks allowed. They've allowed 37, which is 19th best. We've allowed 32, which is 11th best. Third down offense. The Dolphins are 22nd, 37.3%, while the Patriots are 26th at 34.9%. And when we had balance, we're actually a top 10 third down offense at one point this season. Total defense, they are 8th. We are 21st. See, this was the difference. Like, I've seen people in chats and on all these different platforms. Oh, the defense does enough and gives us so much of a chance to win, and it's the offense that holds us back, and it's the defense. It's the defense that gives us a chance. Is it? Is it? Are you sure right now? Are you sure? Because we have the 28th worst passing defense in the NFL. We allow 244.7 yards per game. But we got the 2nd best passing offense. Our passing offense is the 2nd best and only averages 30 more than what our passing defense allows. Figure that one out. But no, it's the offense, right? These people in their narratives who don't know how to watch football, who don't understand the game, casuals who get up in front of a camera and think because they're on a platform or whatever, that means they have knowledge about the game. Are you serious with me right now? Now, the rushing defense, we all see. It's been fantastic. Both teams are top 10. Now, their pass defense is 14th. We're 28th. And see, again, well, the injuries reason. Okay, well, the injuries. Why was it heading into the Green Bay game? We had allowed 16 passing touchdowns on the road to 1 interception, but at home we'd only allowed 8 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So you can't even give me the injury bug excuse because our defense at home leading up to that Green Bay game has been lights out. Now, their rushing defense is 9th. We're 10th. Scoring defense. I want y'all to realize this. We have the number 9 scoring defense in the NFL. We have a top 10 scoring defense, ladies and gentlemen. 24.3 points per game. Yet, that is not good enough to offset our defense that's allowing 24.7 points per game. Our defense which is 27th in scoring defense, is allowing more points than our number 9 overall scoring offense. But y'all trying to tell me the offense and Tua are the problem? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You can't. You cannot. Because we have a top 10 scoring offense. We have a top 5 total offense. We have a top 2 passing offense. Really, the run game's the only thing holding us back, if you think about it. Yet, 28th against the pass on defense. 21 total defense. 10 against rushing defense, which is fantastic. But we have the 27th scoring defense, which is allowing more points per game than a top 10 scoring offense. And yet the offense and Tua are the problem. Please miss me with that false bullshit narrative. And you know why we're not good? Because we suck on third down, 41 points that we give up 3rd and 17s that lead to touchdown. We're 25th on third down defense, and we're 30th in takeaways. And what's the whole basis of this defense? This defense is meant to be aggressive and take the football away. But you got Xavier Howard, who people are trying to tell me deserves the Pro Bowl this year more than Christian Wilkins. In what world? Dropping wide open interceptions. People are literally trying to tell us Tua is the problem, the offense is the issue, when guess what? Look at where we rank defensively. And you want to know something? Because I do this every goddamn week. Go back and watch my preview show last week of the Green Bay game. We were averaging more points as an offense than we were as a defense. But once again, right? And then you go back the week before. What happened? We were only averaging, and going into the Bills game, we were only averaging less than half a point more as a top 10 offense than what our defense was allowing scoring-wise. And what did I say going to the Bills game? Man, you look at this and how close it is. It's like 0.3 or 0.4 points off. And now it's flipped the other direction. And I said to myself, and I said to all of y'all on that preview, go back to the Bills preview when I went over the comparisons. I said, that's going to catch up to us. We got a top 10 scoring offense, but our defense is allowing all these points. It's what the Detroit Lions were earlier this year. Do people forget what the Lions were? The Lions were scoring, like 29, 30 points a game, but they were allowing like 31 points a game, so they were losing. It's literally the same thing. With what Tua did, with what our offense did, 29 points should have been enough to win that ball game in Buffalo. I ain't trying to hear no different. But Boyer, like McDaniel on offense, situationally let us down that game, and it cost us. We have a road defense that allows over 30 points per game. The only reason that number is 24 is because they allow, on average, less than 20 points per game at home. But on the road, they allow more than 30 points per game on average. That's literal facts. That's literal facts. We can never get these two sides to complement themselves. We can never get them. And that's been since Flores, too. We can never get these two sides to complement themselves at the same time. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Offense is playing high octane, out of this world. Like, we would have got blown out in Baltimore if it wasn't for our offense and Tua. What are these people trying to convince me of, saying that Tua is the problem? Now, if you want to talk about unreliability due to injuries, that's a conversation that can be had. But when you talk about play, I'm sorry. We have the number 2 passing offense, a top 10 scoring offense, and a number 5 total offense with Tua at the helm this year. I don't know. What now do you want? You want ones in every category? Well, guess what? Imagine if we had a top 15 run offense, rushing offense. Then what would the passing offense be? Then what would the scoring offense be? Then what would the total offense be with what we already have as a passing offense? That's been the clear, obvious thing every week, whether you watch the film or whether you look at the stats or whether you look at the team comparisons. That's been the obvious, is that we don't run the football enough. So, but that's got to change this week. With Teddy time, that's got to change. All right? We look at last week. Mostert was averaging 5.6 per carry. Wilson was averaging about 4.1 yards per carry. And we kind of got away from it a little bit, you know what I mean? So, let's see. Now, let's get into the offensive keys. For me, offensively, you got to lean on Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. I'm sorry. We should not have one carry less than 30. This is not a topic for discussion. You need to lean on these guys this week. Listen, they're going to try and lean on their run game. Give them a dosage of the same medicine. Lean on Raheem and Jeff. Please. That's the recipe for me. 30 to 35 carries. I'm not even lying to you guys. I think if you give them 30 carries, we can see over 150 yards. Run the football. Again, they're kind of like us. Now, they do have a little bit of a better contain on the edge, but they will be susceptible to you getting the edge on them. I don't think you're going to have a ton of success running through the gaps on them. Getting out to the edge, I think you can have some success on them. Shout out to Griffin Gaming. Now, reason, I've heard Big O say the offense has been the problem because McDaniel abandons the run too easily and tries to go for splash plays too often, which even when it does work, puts our trash defense back on the field. Come on, man. All I got to say is 3rd and 17. 3rd and 17 against the Buffalo Bills. That's all I got to say. Okay? How many key third downs have we seen this defense not get off the field for? And sometimes it's on personnel. A lot of the time it's on the situational play calling from Boyer. Okay? Period. Look at the touchdown to Jerome Baker before that half ended. Sent 4 men. Allowed Allen to extend the play, get outside the pocket because you only sent 4. You're asking Jerome to hold his coverage for 5 or 6 seconds. Touchdown. What are you saying? Okay? No. This defense, I'm not giving passes like that. Now, they gave us chances. They were not the reason we lost in Green Bay and San Francisco. Let me be clear about that, okay? Let me be very clear about that. They are not the reason we lost in Green Bay and San Francisco. I do not blame the defense for that. But what I'm saying is, look at all the games we would have lost before that Texans game if our offense wasn't rolling at the pace it was. We've been a disaster on the road with this defense all year. And then you look at I've shown you all the splits of what we are at home defensively to what we are on the road defensively. Right? Heading into that Packers game, we allowed just over 18 points per game at home. On the road, we allowed over 31. On the road, we allowed 16 touchdown passes to 1 interception. At home, we allowed 8 to 6. On the road, we allowed 6 yards per play. At home, just over 4 yards. So our defense doesn't travel. You got to ask yourself why. That's when I start looking at the coaches. All right. Keep it simple with Teddy. What do I mean by that? It's why I have lean on Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson as the first one. Sweeps. Run the football with sweeps, dives, blasts, whatever you got to do, and then mix it in with your zone run because you're not just going to be a straight zone team. You got to run the gap stuff Even if you don't think it works, you still got to run the gap stuff to keep them honest. Then you mix it in with the zone stuff, tosses, etc., etc. But with him, play action off that stuff. Bootleg him. Now, I know he's not the most athletic guy. I know he's not the most nimble guy. But if you're going to set him up with that run 30, 35 times, you're going to have an opportunity to bootleg him the opposite way. You fake the run, and you might be able to catch him sleeping. Keep it simple with Teddy. Keep it all in front of the sticks. Do what San Fran and the Chargers did with us. Everything for Herbert and Purdy was in front of the sticks. It was short stuff. We got playmakers. This is why you paid Tyreek. This is why you drafted Waddle so high. This is why you brought in Mostert. This is why you traded for Jeff Wilson. This is why you franchise tagged Mike Gesicki. You've got playmakers. In front of the sticks, you get them the ball. Listen, this might have to be a dink and dunk game. And I'm fine with that. Keep it simple with Teddy and run the football. That can move the ball, move the sticks, and keep time of possession on our side. You got to keep it simple with Teddy, man. High percentage throws. Listen, he's not Tua Tagovailoa. We don't need him dropping back. Even with Tua, we've always said the sweet spot with Tua is around, 24, 27, 28 throws. Not 35, 40 dropbacks. Same thing with Teddy. Teddy, you want to keep it in the low to mid 20s. We're not trying to push the ball 30 times with Teddy Bridgewater. Period. So keep it simple with Teddy, man. Simple is better. Protect the football and Teddy. All right? Protecting the football, especially with Teddy at the helm now. You've seen what happened the last couple weeks. Without Teddy even starting, we cannot afford to turn over the ball. Especially now with guys down and guys out. Protect the football at all costs. And you got to protect Teddy. Keep him upright. Let him get comfortable. Let Teddy get into a groove. Keep him comfortable. Let Teddy get into a groove. Give him a shot to make a difference. Give Teddy the shot that he deserves to make a difference this Sunday. This New Year's Day. Barry Bailey, bringing the party with his latest comment. Y'all know Teddy Two Gloves has had 4 concussions. Listen, I don't even want to talk about that, brother. I don't even know why you bringing that juju around, Barry. And you know I love you, Barry. Why you got to bring that juju, Barry? Why you got to bring that juju, Barry? Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, Barry. Come on, Barry. Come on, Barry. Screen game is non-existent too. Funny you said that because I was actually going to bring up a chart. Here, let me see if I'll bring it up. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you guys. I'll bring it up for you real quick. Yeah, funny you bring that up because there's actually something going around in terms of screen success rate. Did I save it? I might have saved it. Screen success rate in the NFL right now, and oh my God, when you look at our attempts to our success rate, the Dolphins are like literally, we are one of the worst. Yeah, here I got it. We are one of the worst screen teams in the NFL. It's like not even. Okay, we're gonna get into the defensive keys here in a sec, but let me just show you this. Bring it up here for you guys. There it is. Good comment. Thank you for reminding me of that. Thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate that because I totally forgot about that actually. And yeah, we are legitimately one of the worst screen teams in the game. It's not even a joke. Like when I saw it and our success rate, it's like it's not even like we don't, it's not even like, oh well, we just don't run screens a lot, but hey, we're good when we do it. It's like no, we're just like bad. Like we're just literally bad at it. So, keeping up with the screen game. I mean, here you go, right in front of you. Right? How often the offenses run screens and their success rate when doing it, right? So we have a success rate lower than 30%. We are the second worst success rate just behind the Jets, obviously way better. And we run screens only about like 6-point-something% of the time. We don't even run at a 7% rate. Like, we are just terrible. We are terrible at screens. We are literally one of the worst screen teams in the league. Like, it's so bad. So when I saw that today, I was like, oh my God. Thank you for reminding me of that. I totally forgot about that. Anyways, let's get into the keys for the defense. And this is what I got. You're going to have to keep Ramondre Stevenson in check. Now, this is a guy who's, he's battled injuries, but he already has 944 yards on the season. He's averaging 4.8 yards per carry, and he has 5 touchdowns. He also has 7 big runs to go along with it. He had a 49-yard run this year. And also, Ramondre can catch the football. Ramondre averages about 6.2 yards per reception, right? He has 78 targets, 62 receptions for 384 yards and a touchdown. So I'm a huge Ramondre Stevenson fan. I loved him coming out. You're going to have to keep him in check. Do Mac Jones no favors. Give him no help. All right? Also, Mac Jones will make mistakes. Capitalize on him. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy has played 12 games, yet he has 8 interceptions and 3 fumbles. He has 11 turnovers in 12 games. Now, I know we are hurting in the turnover department, and I know you see it every couple weeks when we come across a team that's turnover prone. I pop it up here, but please, please, capitalize on the mistakes this man is going to make. Oh my God. Please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. And then number 3, Boyer needs to find a way to generate pressure against this leaky line. Now, you see 3rd and 17, he sends 4. You see 3rd and 9, he's sending 4. You need to start sending the pressure, okay? This man's been sacked 30 times this season. All right? Trent Brown has given up 34 pressures. Cole Strange, who it was strange I drafted him so high, has already given up 22 pressures. Isaiah Wynn has given up 17 pressures. Okay? Trent Brown's given up 8 sacks. Cole Strange has given up 5. Isaiah Wynn's given up 4. They have a leaky offensive line. We should be eating. There is no excuse. No excuse. I'm tired of it. We need. Jalen Phillips right now is top 10 in pressures. He has 62. Bradley Chubb, he has 50. He's top 20. He's top 15. Top 20. We need to start getting home on these, ladies and gentlemen. Period. So keep Ramondre Stevenson in check. Mac will make the mistakes, capitalize on them, and Boyer needs to find a way to generate pressure against this leaky line. Those are my keys to victory for the offense and the defense. Now, my matchup to watch, it's not a player matchup. It's, with all these injuries, with everything that's going on, who is going to win this coaching battle? Is Mike McDaniel going to get the better of Bill Belichick like he did early on in the season? This is the matchup to watch. Who is going to have the better day coaching? Because we got more talent even with the injuries. So all Mike McDaniel's got to do is at least be on par. And if he outcoaches Bill, it's going to be a long day at the office for the Patriots. So we see how good their defense is. We see how bad their offense is. We see how bad our defense has been on the road, especially. We see how good our defense can be, even with Teddy at the helm. Who is going to win this coaching matchup? Scotty says his matchup is Wilkins versus the whole Pats whole line. I like it. I like it. But I think this comes down to who's going to have their guys better prepared. Who's going to have their guys ready to go? That's what this is going to come down to. All right, continuing on, guys. In case you didn't see this week, the Dolphins, they brought in 4 players. 4 players, 2 of them quarterbacks, to work out. And why that's interesting is, I mean, you see some of these guys, Jack Cohn and Kyle Laletta, the 2 quarterbacks, as well as Tariq Black and Isaiah Coulter as the receivers. Now, Cohn, he went undrafted this past year. He obviously played at Wisconsin, Notre Dame. In college, he had 48 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, 6,400 yards. I think he's part of the XFL right now, if I'm not mistaken. And then Laletta, he was a 4th-round pick of the Giants back in 2018. He's been on 6 NFL rosters since then. And he's also in the XFL as well. Tariq Black, he was undrafted out of Texas. He signed with the Colts, made his debut with the Jets. Coulter, he was a 5th-round selection of the Texans back in 2020. He hasn't caught a professional catch. They didn't sign any of these guys. And why does that matter? They didn't put 2 on IR, and they didn't sign any of the quarterbacks they worked out. First of all, that matters with, why are you looking at other options with, Skylar around? I don't get that. Second of all, hey, they didn't make a move, so that means that, they if they haven't made a move like that and they didn't put 2 on IR, makes you wonder, right? Makes you wonder. From Barry Jackson, what the Dolphins' final injury report reveals on multiple starters and personnel notes. A 6-pack of Miami Dolphin notes on a Friday. Several key Dolphin starters are in question for Sunday's game in New England because of injuries. Tua Tagovailoa is out. Eric Fisher is doubtful. Left tackle Taron Armstead, Xavier Howard, linebacker Bradley Chubb, receiver River Craycraft, Alec Ingold, and tackle Greg Little were listed as questionable. Armstead and Howard did not practice Friday. The 4 others practiced on a limited basis. Armstead, who's been dealing with toe, pectoral, and knee injuries for weeks, now has a hip injury too and didn't practice all week. There was only one time this year, the 3rd game of the season against Buffalo, when Armstead played despite not practicing all week. Howard originally planned to practice Friday, but did not because of a knee injury that surfaced on Thursday. Little was added to the injury report with a foot problem, and that's problematic if Armstead cannot play because Fisher is doubtful, meaning the Dolphins' top 3 left tackles are injured. The Dolphins likely will elevate tackle Kendall Lamb from the practice squad. Shout out to the homie 300 Egos. And hey man, he donates $20 and he says, reason you are the very best content on YouTube, hands down. True analysis, spot on takes, awesome guests, and you're hardly emotional. And rats off the ship when things go wrong, like everyone else. Keep it up, dude. Hey bro, you know what? Your last little thing there, my boy. Egos, like I was thinking about it today. I'm like, man, when I came into this, I was very in your face, and especially with how I felt about Rosen. Who would have thought I would turn into the guy who's the positive one, huh? Didn't see that one coming. All right. So Kendall Lamb could be elevated from the practice squad. Started 28 games in his career. Armstead, Howard, and Chubb were not at their lockers during the media access period Thursday and Friday and did not clarify their status with reporters. Chubb is wearing a cast on his injured right hand and also has an ankle injury. Ingold, wearing a large cast on his injured thumb on his right hand, said Friday that he will be a game time decision. He practiced for the first time this week on Friday on a limited basis, albeit it felt good to be back on the practice field with the boys. 2 big games coming up, just ready to do everything I can to play. We'll see what happens when we get up to Foxborough, how this thing goes on the flight. He said he has never played with a cast before. I'm doing well with tying shoes one-handed. He cracked, but could he catch passes with a cast on? I'm going to go straight one-handed, Ingold said. Tyreek had some good one-handed catches. I'm going to watch some tape on him. There's not much pain. It's been really good so far, he said. Craycraft, meanwhile, practiced Friday for the first time this week. He has missed the past 3 games with injuries, most recently a calf. I'm making a lot of progress. Excited to be back out there, he said. With Chubb in question, that could mean more snaps for AVG, who has played just 27% of Miami's defensive snaps, compared with 71% last season. It's definitely something I've got to take advantage of when I get an opportunity, he said. I've obviously been in the system for a long time, so they can trust me to be on the right spot. His biggest strength, pursuit to the ball, being in the right spot, not having very many mental errors or being in the wrong spot, doing what's asked of me. Has the year been a disappointment for him because of the reduced playing time? I've still had a lot of snaps on special teams, he said, taking a glass half full perspective. The Patriots will be without former Dolphins receiver Devontae Parker, tight end Jonnu Smith, and Marcus Jones and Jack Jones. After the Dolphins drafted Channing Tindall, draft evaluators spoke of his skills as a pass rusher. He had 5.5 sacks for Georgia last season. So having the Dolphins create a pass rush package for him, linebackers coach Anthony Campanelli said that has been discussed. Channing does have a skill set where eventually he will be able to contribute that way, Campanelli said. Tindall has only played 9 defensive snaps this season. With Teddy Bridgewater set to start on Sunday at New England, quarterback coach Darrell Bevell said there's a lot of things he does well. The experience he brings, he's been in a lot of locker rooms, a lot of huddles. It's not like he needs 1,000 reps. He's an accurate passer, better movement skills than you think. Bevel, who mentioned by the national media as a potential candidate for Denver's head coaching job, said in general that being a head coach is definitely something I want to do. Here's some quick stuff from defensive line coach Austin Clark. Though Christian Wilkins and Zach Seiler played very well, very high snap counts in many games this season, Clark said there's no correlation between that and the Dolphins failing to stop teams on the ground in the fourth quarter of recent losses. They're absolutely not tired, he said. That's not an excuse as to why those things broke out. Clark said R.J. McIntosh, the former Hurricane standout who signed with the Dolphins practice squad, impressed during his workout with his length. He uses his hands well, moves well laterally. He has 18 tackles and 2 sacks in 18 games for the Giants, but hasn't played in the NFL since 2019. All right, Miami did sign receiver Calvin Jackson Jr. to the practice squad and released receiver Deshaun Hamilton. Hamilton was designated with an injury settlement, I believe. ESPN's Bart Scott on Tagovailoa. I have a major concern about the kid's future. I know why he's playing. We're all playing for that second contract to take care of our families. I'm concerned if he should play the rest of the season. He's got to figure out a way to protect himself. I worry about his future in the NFL. Tim Hasselbeck said of the Dolphins, I think they should be okay with Teddy Bridgewater. New England, the Jets have issues of their own. Shout out to Chef Jew for joining the Pro Bowl. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, Chef. All love, bro. Hope married life is going well, my guy. CBS is sending Dolphins Patriots to a significant part of the country, but only parts of Florida. The network's number 2 NFL team, Ian Eagle and Charles Davis, have the call. By the way, members, Patreon members, channel members, I am still working. I'm gonna be having specific content coming to you guys on Thursdays. I'm just setting the day up as to when I'm going to kick it off, but you guys are going to get specific content on Thursdays as well as the insider info access and all that stuff. The Dolphins punt and kickoff coverage unit ranks in the bottom 5 in the league. Asked what individuals have been missed most on the return teams, Crossman said it's Ethan Carter, who has lost for the season with a concussion after 4 special team snaps in the opener. Keon Crossman was the Dolphins' most significant special team signing of the past offseason, but Crossman said his snaps on return teams have been reduced because of the need for him to play cornerback amid injuries in Miami secondary. That's the nature of the beast, Crossman said, and he's going to really learn the nature of the beast when he's out of a job, because it's coming, Danny. Get prepared, brother. Interesting factoid, I thought some of y'all, listen, it's not the most positive thing in the world, but hey, let's be the first. The Jets, Dolphins, Commanders, and Titans are among teams to not win a single game in December. Only 2 teams since the 1970 AFL-NFL merger have made the playoffs without a single December regular season win. The 1986 Jets and the 2000 Vikings. So we got an uphill climb against even history, even analytics. Let's get it done. I believe in you, Teddy. Come on, Teddy. I believe, Teddy. Get it done, baby. And then finally here, our playoff chances. You look at it. For the 5-week stretch, we went from an 81% chance down to 57%. And when you look at us right now, we have a 57% chance to make the playoffs. If we win this week, it goes up to 80%. But the key thing is, if the Seahawks beat the Jets, we are in the playoffs. Now, if the Jets do get it done right there, what does that mean? Well, that means the Jets game becomes win and in. And that could be moved to prime time. Shout out to Logan for subscribing. So, listen. Gotta hope for this outcome, and we are in, ladies and gentlemen. We will go from becoming Dolphin fans to the biggest Seahawks fans in the world if we can manage the win. Yeah. We gotta handle our business this week. Because, I mean, if we lose, we drop down to 41%, and then we basically, and the Jets win, it stays around the same, but then it becomes we need the Bills to win, and we need us to win. If that happens, if we lose. We need the Bills to beat the Patriots, and then we need to beat the Jets. So, you know. And the other scenario for us to potentially get in this week, we can clinch with a win and a Jets loss, tie, or if the Dolphins tie and the Jets loss and Steelers lose or tie. So, you know, we can get in with a tie. We cannot get in with a loss this week, though. So, we got to take care of our business, baby. That's all that's left on the field. With or without Tua, we got a game to win. We got to get it done. And, ladies and gentlemen, when I see you on Sunday, it's going to be the new year. So, I want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I love all of y'all for the support of this channel. You know, all of you that stick through the bad times, because it's clearly obvious that, you know, when the good times are rolling, it's one thing. When the bad times are rolling, it's another thing. I appreciate each and every one of you for sticking through and keeping by and sticking by the team and sticking by this channel even during the rough times, because it's been rough, man. It's been rough. Listen, I appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's Eve. I'm going to see you on New Year's Day. We are obviously going to have live reaction between the Jets and the Dolphins, and then we're going to have the post-game show, fifth quarter post-game show. So I will see all of y'all on New Year's, but I just wanted to wish all of y'all a New Year and tell everyone I love all of y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all for continuing to support the channel. And listen, y'all are why I do it, man. All of you that stick through the rough times and continue to support me, y'all are the reason why, man. Y'all are the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's put it that way, all right? I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see all of you on Sunday. Let's get this W, man. It's time, all right? Let's get this W. Let's break this streak. Let's run the football. Let's put on a clinic. Fins up all day, every day. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love each and every one of you. And I will see all of y'all on Sunday. Happy New Year. Stay blessed. Be safe. Be happy. Don't drink and drive. Call an Uber. Call a family member. Call a friend. Be safe. Please, all of you. Your life is more important than anything in this world, and you only get one of them. Be safe, all right? Love all of y'all. I will see all of y'all on Sunday. Fins up, baby.